a march in Detroit on August 28th, the anniversary of the March in Washington.
I'm sorry, can we start over? Sorry, I had a little problem. Go ahead. Okay, so what are we doing here today?
United Auto Workers and the Rainbow Push Coalition, a number of civil rights organizations, ministers, groups, political leaders are calling for a march in Washington.
Go ahead, we keep going.
I'm here at United Auto Workers headquarters, UAW and the Rainbow Push, a number of organizations, civil rights organizations, religious, political leaders, calling for a march in Detroit on August 28th, the anniversary of the march in Washington, 1963. It's time to put a focus on put America back to work, a focus on jobs. We bail out the banks, we're bailing out Afghanistan to the tune of $100 billion. Yet Detroit looking at 30% unemployment and rising. For youth, 50% and rising. We're cutting public transportation, public education, cutting public housing, and foreclosing private housing. It's time to focus on jobs and justice in the tradition, the March of 1963. And so this August 28th, we'll be mobilizing people around the nation. And then people around the country who cannot get here, we'll be having prayer vigils at unemployment compensation offices. We put focus on jobs.
Can you just talk a little bit about Bob King and Detroit here in the UAW and working with him, sir?
The special genius of Bob King is he is an activist with a global view. The UAW, all the workers were 1,500,000 10 years ago, now it's 400,000. The USA GM, number one Buick sales is China. So plants are closing in Detroit and Flint, and content's coming from abroad, and cars are going abroad. Americans must fight for fair trade, an even playing field. We must, in fact, fight for a policy of reindustrialization. We can make cars. We deserve and don't have right now as an even playing field.
The powers that be wanted me to ask you about the comments you made about the Cleveland Cavaliers management, about LeBron. Can you address those quickly, sir?
Just kind of basic is that the owner took the position either I own LeBron's contract, I disrupt, discredit, and destroy him. He said LeBron is a betrayer, that in games against Orlando and Boston he quit, which is close to being a scandal. There's no evidence that LeBron engaged in scandalous behavior. There is evidence, however, he and Chris and Wade decided to build a strong team. And in the words of the owner, Gilbert, he says we must begin to make these athletes accountable. And this is no way to raise your children. Full of contempt. And so we've talked with the league office in New York today. The NBA must address this. Players Association must address. No owner should express this kind of contempt, ugliness toward players. And in effect, Gilbert was saying, if I own your contract, you're my guy. If I don't own your contract, I will seek to destroy you, and that must stop.
And you said that was kind of like a slave ownership.
Well, the mentality of a runaway slave. If I own you, I protect you. If I don't own you, I'll get you some kind of way. That kind of anger and bitterness has no place in civil behavior, nor in organized sports.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Reverend Jackson.